This video, Zoning 201 Tiny House Community, is one of a series of 6 by Tiny House Atlanta that demonstrates some tools and methods you can use to research existing local zoning codes to discover where tiny houses are allowed under current ordinances. Videos based on 2 assumptions. One, that you're researching where you can build a tiny house as part of a development with other tiny houses, and that you are familiar with the concepts found in our earlier videos, Zoning 201 Prologue and Zoning 201 First Steps. You can find these on this YouTube channel or at Tiny House Atlanta, which is where we are now. The purpose of this video is to show you how to discover if a jurisdiction will allow a community, a neighborhood of tiny houses built together on one platted piece of property. And these can go by several designations as you search the ordinances. They can be called a cottage court, a cottage cluster development, or a cottage housing development, or some other name the writers of the ordinance thought appropriate. So we've been using the city of Marietta as an example. And I have gone now to their zoning ordinance page, which if you have viewed our earlier videos, you know how to get to here from Marietta or to any other jurisdiction. We're not going to do single family residential, that's one house on one lot. We're not going to do attached, that's a duplex, a townhome, something like that. Mobile home park, not now. Planned residential development, and in my mind that kind of sounds like what we're looking for. Let's go look at that page. Now I'm going to scroll through this more quickly than you should. You need to read everything to get a good idea of what this planned, what do they call it, planned residential development is all about. Seems like single family, seems right, but I'm going to go a little bit quickly and look for a minimum square footage, because that's going to tell us whether or not a tiny house is possible. And we would like to see no minimum square footage or a very small minimum square footage. Oh, here we go. We've seen a page like this. And Marietta disappoints once again. Look at 1,400 square feet as a minimum square footage. So at least under this designation, and nothing else I saw, will Marietta allow a tiny house community. I've been kind of disappointed in these guys. Marietta sure isn't friendly to tiny houses. Let's abandon them and go to a jurisdiction I know to be friendlier, just to boost your spirits. Plus it'll give you an opportunity to see the way another jurisdiction presents its information. And here I've got just the home page for Chambly. We'll go quickly to get to zoning. Departments ought to have zoning development. There we go to zoning. Zoning, they have the Unified Development Ordinance, which a copy is on good old Munich code. So let's go to Munich code. We've seen on other jurisdictions how to get to the zoning page of ordinances for any particular city or county. And here, land use and zoning. General provisions overlay. How about standards applying to all districts? What have we got here? Yeah, there's a table. I like seeing tables. Tables can be handy. And they also often, just to keep from having extra wording, they'll refer you. They'll have links to refer you to other places. There was minimum lot size, minimum. Let's go more to the base zoning districts, because here in this, besides all these other references, which are useful to click on when you're trying, there's a lot to go through in these. I've been to Chambly before, and I've noticed it keeps referring you to, it says it's this information plus this Ordinance 682. Ordinance 682, again, it kept showing up. So let's see what the heck Ordinance 682 is. And actually it's a PDF, and it takes a while to load because there are like 400, almost 500 pages in this thing. It could wear you out to try to work your way through all of this. Yeah, look, 491 pages. But it's got a search box. I like search boxes. And cottage seems to be a universal designation. And we've got some hits. Since I've done this before, I mean, you all need to look at every one of these, but I know this page 121 gets us where we want. Although, come on, y'all. It's kind of hard to read. You make that bigger. It doesn't help. How about this? 100%. There. There's something we can read. Cottage cluster development. And look for minimum square footage. Oh, here we go. Minimum square footage right away. Minimum of 500. Well, that's not tiny, but that's pretty small. Maximum of 1,500. So for a tiny house community, that probably would work. As you know, you'd have to be bigger than 500 square feet. None of these 250 square footers. And you need to look at what the other requirements and limitations are. Of course, before you would proceed. They've got, it's more than just the minimum square footage. But I'm going to say that it looks to me like Chambly would probably be amenable to a tiny house community. So that finishes the scope of this tutorial. I hope you have noticed the value of just staying alert for extra information as you go through these web pages. Thank you for watching.